What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your man's AK Infinity with my alley-oop partner, Mr. Slaughter. What's happening, man? This is another episode of the Two-Man Game, episode number 3. We got a nice little episode in store for y'all, man. What's happening, Mr. Slaughter?
Not much, man. Just excited for these playoff type games that we've had and are having, we're about to have, and then just you're ready for the playoffs. That's exciting times.
Man, it's been so long since we played.
It's nice seeing that little
games
Y next to our name.
Oh man, what that Y mean again? It's been a while. What it mean? I forgot, man. What that mean?
So like X means like that the like Oklahoma City's like clinched their like the number 1 spot or whatever, but Y just means we've clinched the playoff spot.
Oh, that's what it means.
Clinched the division. Yeah.
Man, I feel like I was in high school the last time we did something like that.
I don't think so, unless you're like 27. But
oh man, but nah, man, exciting times to be a Rockets fan right now. Very, very exciting times. Had a good week of games, I would say, except for one of them that kind of pissed me off, but it's all good. And then we got this remaining schedule, 4 straight playoff or play-in teams, and yeah, man, we got some interesting topics. We're gonna finish it up with how Ime Udoka matches up with every potential playoff matchup we can have in this first round. So, yeah, man, let's go on and kick it off, man. Let's kick it off with the games from the week, man. The Lakers game.
Yeah, I mean, I want to go back and watch that because I am interested to see how they, obviously I know that they were gang rebounding, but the biggest thing was that they limited us to like 22%, ORED percentage, which is really, really low. But they're also not a big team at the center and power forward position. So how were they able to do it? I mean, having LeBron and Luka as wings help, but overall, it's interesting. Like Oklahoma City couldn't replicate the strategy that the Lakers had, right? So how did they do it? And then how do we counter that, or what do we do in order to not allow that to happen?
Well, first of all, they got rebounding wings, which is what you need, especially when we go zone. If you got rebounding wings, they can just come in and clip something, and then both of those guys, if it's LeBron or Luka or whoever, or even Austin Reeves, they get a rebound, they can get up and go make something happen on the other end real quick. But to solve that, how about not needing to offensive rebound to generate offense? Well, make shots.
I'm not confident that that's going to happen this year.
I'm not either.
Against the Lakers, it should be easier. But, I mean, Redick's a good coach. But I think that's a good point and a difference between the OKC game, right? Like, first of all, OKC is not a good rebounding team to begin with.
No.
And what's up, King? Always here. Always here.
Always.
Salute to you, my friend.
For sure.
And but like you said, they have
much.
2 wings that are good rebounders, whereas OKC's rebounders would be in that same position would be Jalen Williams and SGA, who are average size, for their position.
Yeah, I think part of the problem too with that game, I think we really might be overthinking it. Honestly, the game plan. So pretty much what we did to the Celtics is what the Lakers did to us. The Lakers forced. No, I take that back. No, I don't. So remember in the Celtics game, they said they wanted Amen Thompson and Dillon Brooks to beat them. That actually happened. The Rockets said they wanted DFS and Gabe Vincent to beat us. That's what happened.
Yeah.
The game plan just kind of blew up. Now, if you ask yourself how repeatable that is in a 7-game series, do you expect something like that to continue to happen? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Them 2 guys, not that they can't shoot threes, but if your game plan is, if you're dependent on DFS and Gabe Vincent to beat you for 4 games out of 7, good luck with that, Lakers.
Right, but you need like a game like that, right?
Yeah, one game,
you need your guys to go off. Sure. I mean, I think that the reason that I stated last week was I was scared of LeBron and Luka is just they're so dang smart. And I mean, regardless of what you think, them going off for what they got 12 combined threes between the two of them. The shots they were getting were freaking butt naked open.
That's the problem.
Easy knockdown shots.
Yeah,
and that, I mean, that's like the potential issue with the two big against them in particular. But they're just great passers, and they're going to make you work on defense. And Ime's just going to have to figure that out. I mean, we've had a good game plan against the Lakers. Jalen typically plays well against the Lakers, and they, like you said, they bottled him up. But we can't have it where they bottle up both guys, right? Like, or if they do, like Şengün and Jalen need to have like 18 assists, right? I mean,
absolutely.
That's like got to be the counter to it.
I would say in the cancellation between because both teams have good top three players, but it comes down to who the other top three player is for both teams. Austin Reeves is their third best guy. Our third best guy is who? Amen Thompson, you would say?
Oscillates. That's kind of an issue too, but yeah. It's either Amen or Jalen, depending on what you think.
Who is the third guy? Let's say it is Amen or Jalen. I mean, not Amen or Jalen. Let's say it's Amen or Jalen. Who's the third guy? Which one of them two is better than is not better than Austin Reeves? Thank you. I'm not taking Austin Reeves over Amen or Jalen. I'm just not doing it. I mean, unless I'm drunk and high at the same time. That's possible.
I mean, he's definitely benefited from having LeBron, and I mean, the thing is though, is that he's definitely good enough that if they're really going to focus in on LeBron and Luka, he didn't do much last game, right? Like, so the counter to the Gabe Vincent and DFS not doing so well would be, well, Austin Reeves is going to have a better game, or should have a better game.
In theory, that's what you would think would happen.
Right. So, but I mean, Amin is not going to have the offensive game potentially that he has, but he's certainly effective on defense. But also, Luka and LeBron are just different defenders. He can't use his speed the same way, and to defend them, he can't use his speed like how he does against like Shea or someone like that. He's really got to be strength. It's really strength based.
You mean defensively?
Correct. Whenever he's on defense.
But that's why you got Dillon.
Right. But I'm just saying, Amin's impact in the Lakers series is different than in most other series. Because I don't think you can't like Dion, Luka or LeBron with him. I don't think. Maybe Luka. I could see him figuring Luka out at some point, but Luka's just really freaking good.
He is. He really
doesn't
is.
use that. Neither LeBron or Luka use speed.
True.
I mean, LeBron has it potentially, but he's like a bully ball guy. He can bully him.
At this point, he got speed on certain nights.
Right. It's like maybe Monday, very selective.
Maybe a Monday and then a Friday, and then the rest of the days of the week, not so much.
I mean, that's why Kobe was so frustrating, right? I mean, like, whenever he was like 30, it's like he wasn't killing you with speed. It was just like outsmarting you and knowing what you were going to do.
Demon. Absolute. What he used to do to Shane Battier was just not fair. Because it's like, bruh, I can't play any better defense than this. What are you doing? Why are you still making shots? Leave me alone.
Right. And I can see like Luka doing that, right? Potentially.
Not like Kobe. I mean, Luka can't shoot like Kobe could.
And I think that it's that series, if it's like the 2-3 series or whatever in the second round, like that would be a great series for us to be in, because it's like we definitely don't have
to learn from
the two best players, right? We definitely don't have the two best players in there, so it's got to be like a whole team effort. And the coaching matchup, like it's one that Ime should win, but I do think JJ is quite smart, but he's never been in that type of situation as a coach. Ime definitely has. Ime should win that coaching matchup. I know we're going to get into that later.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later.
But like that would just be a very interesting 7-game series because of the counters I think each team would have to make in order to win the series.
I think we can.
And I would count on the Lakers being able to execute that, just given the fact that they have LeBron and Luka, who are very, very versatile offensive players.
Offensively, yeah, but I think we got more. I think we got another gear defensively that the Lakers may not be able to deal with. But we can kind of touch on that a little bit later on in the show.
Next then the game, Oklahoma City game, right? The Oklahoma City game is kind of like the opposite, where I think Ime really exploited an advantage we had and leaned into it. But then he also brought in Jabari at the 5, which we haven't seen much of, and that was very successful as well. So we kind of got it on both. We got both sides of it. But that like lineup, which I thought was absurd, but it worked, was like Tate, Jabari, Adams, Şengün, and like Amin or something. It was like there was like no shooting on the floor. Or maybe it was Jalen instead of Amin, but there was like no shooting on the floor. And it worked just because they just abused the second unit with Chet at the 5. Like, they're going to have to play Hartenstein like 40 minutes a game in that series.
Do you want to skip the Utah game? Because I don't even know what we can even take from that Utah game, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't want to be disrespectful. Anyways, Utah, screw them. They don't even count. Utah's not even in America anyway. That's somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean. Like, they're like below sea level.
Yeah.
And they're not really – they're a state in the U.S., but they're not really in the U.S. Like, I can't describe it, but we don't count them. They're different people.
Yeah, they're so bad defensively. It's like hard to – That's
understand. True, too. But, hey, we whoop Utah Jazz. Rockets will always be a better franchise than the Utah Jazz. They're always going to be a better team than the Utah Jazz. The state of Texas will always be better than the state of Utah. The city of Houston will always be a better city than Salt Lake City. And that's just what it is. Shout out to Vernon Maxwell. Yeah. But so screw them. We're going to disrespect them heavily right now and just dismiss them because they don't even count as an NBA team. I think the Vipers could beat them. But anyway, OKC. So there's a problem with the OKC game that we cannot expect to continue to have. Well, not a problem, but there's something that happened in the OKC game that we cannot depend on in a 7-game series. What I'm looking at
are you talking about Jason Tate and Amin Thompson going like 6
there's
or 7?
No way they're gonna combine for 5 threes. Probably not in the whole series. There's no way. Like, it's not what I'm looking at right now, which with each and every game going down the stretch is what is repeatable, especially against those certain matchups. What is repeatable? What can we carry over from one game to the next in a playoff series? And what adjustments could be made that are actually plausible? Those are the things I'm looking at right now. And against OKC, that double big lineup was causing all kind of hell, but it was mostly in that first quarter, the first like 3 or 4 minutes before they called that timeout. It was, man, we were all over them, all over the ball handlers, man. Like, we were creating turnovers and we were getting out and running. They missed a shot, that was it for them. And if we missed a shot, we got another 2 or 3 shots after that to convert. So those are things I think are definitely repeatable. Now, Jay-Sean is probably not even going to get in the game
right
in the playoffs. So, I don't know how much we can kind of depend on that. He might actually, now that I think about it, against them it's possible. But then Dylan didn't play. He may play some minutes, but I think also Dylan not playing played a big role in why we played the way that we did, especially offensively, because as much as I love Dylan, I talk about this all the time. He's a hijacker. When you got a hijacker in the offense, it screws with the hierarchy. And in that game, the hierarchy was very clear. It was Jalen, Amin, 1-1A, 1-1B, whichever direction you want to call it. But that 2-man game, you see what I did here? That 2-man game was beautiful from pillar to post. When they both drop a 30-piece on a team, especially a playoff team, the best defense in the league, quote unquote, you know that they're cooking with something. That's something that is starting to develop towards the end of the season that wasn't there before. And in a playoff series, that's what's going to win us. That's what's going to win us against good teams.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the problem that OKC has, though, is like against the zone, the double big. Let's say they try to go like 5 out and they have Chet, right? Like, you got to have someone in the middle of the zone or else you're just shooting a bunch of threes. And really the only guy that can do that is Chet, unless they're going to play like Jalen Williams or I don't even know if Jalen Williams is on their team anymore. But like, I can't think of anyone else that can really play in the middle of the zone for them.
I think Big J Williams. I think he might be hurt. I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe. Like Hartenstein just can't hit that jumper. So he's like not. I mean, he can move the ball and stuff. He can
got
like,
the little floater.
Be an outlet.
He got the little floater, the little flip shot in the middle. But then that's it. Outside of
that. So that's I think perhaps the counter. You put Hartenstein in the middle, and then you got Shea, Jalen, Holmgren and Aaron Wiggins or whatever. You got 4 just knockdown shooters with someone in the middle. But what OKC truly does not have is they don't have vertical athletes. Like we have at least have Amin and Jalen, guys that can catch alley-oops, guys that can do stuff above the rim. They really don't have that.
I'm trying to think like
that's one way you beat a zone, right? You get in the middle, and then that's like
they threw Jabari in the middle a lot, and Jabari was making things happen from that spot too. Like he could shoot it from right there at the free throw line.
Shooter from there.
Yep,
he's a zone killer for us. It's definitely his secret weapon. But I mean, like, look, you're not going to outshoot OKC once probably in the entire series from the line, much less by 11.
We're not going to shoot Shea by himself.
But Tari didn't play well, and he only played, I forget, I don't see how many minutes, but let's see, 19 minutes, 17 minutes. You're going to get a better game from Tari. Dylan Brooks is going to be there. I think the games will be a lot more low scoring. But I did tweet. I said it wasn't a coincidence that how we played coincided with Dylan Brooks being out. And if he gets dealt this offseason, I think we'll see that play out next year.
Man. Unfortunately, he might be the odd man out in that wing rotation. Honestly, I think our wing rotation is going to be on full display as a strength in the entire playoffs, man. Because the teams that we could face, and this is a good segue, for the rest of the season is gonna really show that. I think we got Golden State tonight. We got the Lakers again, and I think if we have our full rotation of wings, I think this next Lakers game is gonna be more telling on how a series would go between the Rockets and the Lakers. And who the hell else we got? Then we got the Clippers. That's another team that we're gonna really be able to display those wings on.
And then Denver.
That one is we could use the wings on Jamal Murray, man. But Jamal Murray is just a murderer, man. And I don't know how we're gonna deal with Jokic. I don't know what we're gonna do with that guy, unless we just try to abuse him on defense.
It's one example where the double big can work, and I'm not sure how he would attack it, right? Like if he's in the middle, he's obviously great in the middle, but I think it does kind of take away some of his strengths to an extent. Because he's not using the motion of the ball handlers, right, to orchestrate things. It's kind of more set. True. And their offense kind of works with motion. So I wonder if that would mess things up for them a little bit. But Jokic is so smart, he's going to figure it out. But the big thing is you can just wear him out. I think that's what we would try to do.
So let's call it dub or L, Warriors.
I think we'll lose the last 4 games.
All 4?
All 4.
Damn.
Clippers are hot right now. The Warriors.
What are we?
I said we're 51. This is what I had us projected at. This is what we talked about last week.
Yeah, that is true. Damn, but
51.
Like when you
I thought we'd lose a game. I thought we'd lose a game early, and then maybe we'd beat the Clippers or whatever. But I'm gonna reverse that and say
damn. So 4 straight L's. We definitely losing to the Warriors tonight. Let me just go ahead and bury the lead on that.
Dude, freaking Steph is playing out of his mind.
Bro, Steph ain't got to play. So long as that jersey is there, bro, as long as it say Warriors right here, bro, you're not winning. Why would we do that?
The funny thing is us losing to them is probably actually better because it hurts their chance of getting the 7th seed.
Huh. You know what? Go Warriors.
Because from Denver to Memphis, they're all separated by a game from 4 to 8.
Oh man. I want to beat them, but if it means that we have a better chance of playing them in the playoffs, I don't know if that's even good for the long game, man. So,
and Jimmy kills us too. Historically,
Tomball Jimmy. I don't know what it is. I don't know what we did to that man, but he got a vendetta against Houston. I'm sorry, bro. Whatever we did to you, please just forgive us, man. Whoever it was, maybe you and James Harden was going after the same chicks in Houston. I don't know what it is. But please just forgive us, all right?
So we have so the teams that we could play, out of the teams that we could play, I mean, I like our matchup against the Grizzlies and the Clippers.
One I want, honestly, and I'll tell you why. Let me tell you why I want the Grizzlies more than any other team. The way they did Dillon Brooks in the offseason before we picked him up, I think that's dirty, and I think they need to pay for that.
But also, Dillon Brooks will be like Michael Jordan.
He might actually play. He's gonna actually be efficient and play well that series, I believe. He's gonna definitely get under their skin.
I feel like he's taking a lot of shots against them in the two. Let me look it up.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think the Grizzlies need to atone for what they did to that man and what they tried to do to him and his reputation that offseason. It was very dirty, and this is one of them opportunities where I ain't gonna be mad at that man for taking that series personal.
So the most he shot is 44 shots against the team this season, except for Memphis, where he has shot 55. I feel like I knew he was jacking him against that man.
No, did he? But yeah.
Jesus. Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely want the Grizzlies now with their coaching situation.
I agree with you.
With their coaching situation,
yeah.
Obviously, we're probably gonna take Ime over. I forget the guy's name. Forget his name, man. Should have had his name pulled up. But whatever his name is, I'm taking Ime over. Yeah, the new coach. Yeah, I forgot the interim guy.
Yeah, I mean, they're just a franchise in disarray. They haven't really matched up well with us this year. I mean, I think Amin is a great matchup for Ja, right? Like we talked about, it's like the inverse of like the LeBron Lucas stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the kind of guy.
If Ja cannot get to the basket, they are just really going to struggle. And Desmond Bane may win them a game or something, but like overall,
Triple J too.
Yeah, but he can't rebound. He plays right into our hands in a lot of ways.
But he can score. He can get buckets. He can shoot it from the three. And if they go 5 wide, they put him at the 5. That can present problems for us on the other hand. Now, they're not going to be able to rebound, but that means that we have to make shots. If we're missing shots.
But we're going to get the offensive rebound.
Well, we probably would get the offensive rebound, but how much can you depend on that?
In that series,
as a strategy. Like, that's crazy to me that will even be a strategy. Hey, just offensive rebound. That depends on you. It depends on the other team not rebounding defensively, but anyway,
I was going to look this up because I was curious, but I was going to see what I could find as what is our true shooting percentage compared to like the lowest, or like, you know, when was the last time a team like had our low true shooting percentage that like won a playoff series?
This is just a guess.
I have no idea. Yeah,
it's probably going to be the Derrick Rose, Joakim Noah Chicago Bulls when they went to the Eastern Conference Finals. That's the one that I can think of because I remember their offense was abysmal.
I was going to go back to the like 76ers or something, but yeah, it could be.
What year? You talking about the one with Allen Iverson?
Yeah.
Oh, the Allen Iverson with Mutombo and Eric Snow and Keith Van Horn.
Exactly. So what is our team true shooting percentage? I don't know. I'll look it up while you're talking. But for the opposite reasons, I think we match up well with the Grizzlies. You know, obviously, I think against Minnesota we can make them rely on Naz Reid too much, and I think that we would wear him out over a 7-game series. But obviously, Ant can do things, but I think he'd be tasked with a lot. And obviously, I think we have the defenders to really make him work. I do like our matchup with Minnesota. With any of those three teams, I think we do match up well.
How you think
the Clippers is the wild
matches up
card just because we
with
haven't
the
played with
coaching though?
Kawhi.
How you think Ime matches up with the coaching? I think that's kind of what it's going to come down to, especially with some of these teams. But as a matter of fact, let's start from 10. Sacramento, Doug Christie. We've been swept by the Kings this season, but in the playoffs, it's a different story. Do you trust Ime over Doug Christie in the playoffs? Round one.
And they play a lot differently now too.
They do a whole lot differently.
So, because we didn't play them without Fox, did we? Or it was like right after the Fox.
We played them with and without.
And
Fox.
they still beat us.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It was worse without Fox.
But the Kings can't be the 7th seed, right? They can only be the 8th seed.
Can they? I'm not sure. They got 40 losses right now. Oh no, they can't be the 7th seed. They can't even be that.
If they're the 10th seed, they'd have to jump the Mavericks, which they could do, I guess.
The Mavericks are at what they got.
They're tied. They're tied, so they could jump them.
They are tied.
So, but they would have to. The 9 and 10 would have to win.
The Lakers. I mean, not the Lakers. Oof.
The only.
I don't think they can get up to 7 because they already got 41 losses, and the Clippers only have 32.
I know, but the Mavericks and the Kings would have to win, and the Kings would have to be the 9 seed for them to get the 7.
Oh
seed.
yeah, I forgot the stupid playing thing. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh God, jeez, yeah, this company.
So, but they can't be the 7th seed. They can only be the 8th seed. They're not.
The Mavericks can though, huh?
Well, no, They have the same problem.
Same problem.
Yeah.
Jesus, playing thing kind of.
They would need the Clippers and the Grizzlies to both lose the play-in, which I guess the Grizzlies could, right? The Grizzlies certainly could lose to the Kings in the play-in.
It's possible.
Yeah,
it's possible, especially with the turmoil they're dealing with right now. It's possible. So I don't know.
I'm interested in the Clippers game, though. I mean, it's a good litmus test for us. Like I said, I think they play a little different without, with Kawhi, for obvious reasons. And Kawhi is one of those guys. He's really tough to speed up. Unlike Harden, I think the athleticism doesn't bother him as much.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But I think Brooks is a good defender for him.
Does the double big work against the Clippers? Do you trust?
Who's their second big? I mean, you'd be asking Harden and Kawhi to rebound a lot.
They're gonna be playing a lot of Nick Batum too, and they got hold on, I forgot who.
It's not that those guys aren't great rebounders, but they really got to scrap. And for as much as Harden does rebound for a point guard, he's not like I'm gonna contest, jump, get the ball guy. I don't know. I mean, I think the double big lineup may work, but it runs into a similar problem where Harden's just such a great passer that
he'll
it may be an issue.
One way and he'll figure that out.
Yeah. So, and they'll hunt switches. So he'll hunt Şengün and he'll hunt Adams. And I think that is the underrated thing that we have not faced in the double big. Teams have not went out of their way to hunt those guys.
Because we go zone.
Well, yeah. I guess that's
probably
true.
why. Now, another wrinkle that the Clippers could throw out there is probably Ben Simmons at the 5.
Good luck.
It may look ugly, but ugly may have to work.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, if they can do it, I don't know. I honestly have not seen enough Clipper games to know if that is like a possible effective. I mean, Zubac has been so good for them.
Yeah, but he's also as good as he's been. He's a pick and roll merchant.
Sure,
he's a pick and roll merchant.
But he's long. I mean, and he's a very good offensive rebounder.
You know who he is to me? This may sound disrespectful. I don't even mean to be disrespectful, but he's more like a Marcin Gortat on steroids.
Yeah, but he's like 7'2". I mean, Gortat.
Yeah, he's bigger. That's what I mean. Like he's on steroids.
Yeah.
He's bigger. He's stronger. Gortat has some good feet though. Gortat had really good feet, and and both are good screeners.
Great screeners, yeah.
But in their pick and roll game with both of them, if Gortat played today, he'll look a lot like Zubac, to be honest. Probably not as good though, because Zubac's probably a little bit more skilled offensively. Like you could actually throw it down to him in the post and he could make something happen. But yeah, so we went Memphis. So we're going with Ime over whoever's down there in Memphis. No disrespect.
Yes.
This guy's name. So are we also going Ime over Ty Lue?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Now, are we going Ime over Chris Finch?
Yes.
And just to be clear, we're not saying who the Rockets will win over. We're just saying, do we have the coaching edge over these teams? So we had
I think Lou's a closer call than Finch, I would think. But I don't really.
Yeah.
Finch is a little more creative, but Lou obviously has more pedigree and,
he's a lot like Ime. Like, they're no nonsense, very disciplined, defensive minded. They're very similar. Very, very similar. All right. Now, Ime versus Steve Kerr.
No. As evidenced by the games that we've played against them? No.
Tonight ain't going to be no damn different. We talking all this hot mess. Watch us come out and blow out the Warriors tonight. And I'm going to be there confused like, damn, why would you do that? Now we might have to face them in the first round. Which is bad coaching.
It's not. Yeah, I don't. It's part coaching, but it is part like.
Bruh, I'm sorry. The Warriors just do this to me where I just get bad PTSD and I gotta take medicine, bro. I best try to go to sleep early tonight, probably like by halftime or so, man. That's how bad the Warriors have done me mentally, bro. I might need to go see a therapist. Everybody know a therapist out there, man. Holler at me because I might need one if we got to play them in the first round. I'm talking about every game. I'm gonna need a session before and after each game. So let them know they got a client. Shoot them my information, or shoot me their information, or whatever. I'm halfway joking. Just FYI. You muted like a mug. Cat got your tongue, bro, or your mic.
It's got my mic, actually.
Yeah, there you go.
I was looking up the true shooter percentage in the playoff thing, and it's happened a couple of times more recently than I anticipated. The last time that a team had less than 56% true shooting, but also this is the playoffs. I imagine that the Rockets' true shooting actually is going to go down more than what it already is. But let's say it holds steady, would be the Heat in 21-22. They won 2 series.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
And then it was Milwaukee, 20, and whenever they won the finals, they actually had a 55% true shooting.
Really?
Really. And then Milwaukee did it again like a few years prior.
That's crazy.
And then you have the Rockets in 2017-18 when we lost to the Warriors.
17-18, yeah, that's true.
A good team, but I mean, you just play the Warriors in a 7-game series is going to skew your true shooting. But
man, dog.
But I mean, but like if I went like lower, like let me lower it to like I don't know, 53% or something. Let's say let's get dirty.
That's filthy, bro.
It is.
I think everybody's true shooting percentage goes down in the playoffs regardless.
Right, exactly. So the last team to win a series with that, 2 series, would have been the Cavs when they lost to the Warriors in 14-15.
Why are the Warriors involved in all of this?
and then the team before that was the Pacers that lost to the Cavs in 7. In 12-13.
Oh, that Paul George and Roy Hibbert and Lance Stephenson. Danny Granger, yeah.
And then before that, you have to go all the way down to that Derrick Rose team, 10-11. They won 9 games, so they won 2 series. And then before that, it was the Spurs. So basically, it's happened like 5 times in the last like 20 years where teams like had that low of true shooting and won 2 series.
So what you're saying is it's very possible and within the realm that we could win 2 playoff series this season.
It's possible. Yes.
I think what all of those teams had in common, though, if I'm not mistaken, is at minimum a top 10 defense.
Yes.
All right. That makes sense. Because you can't shoot the ball that bad and also give up points in the other game. Like, that just doesn't work.
For sure.
So that makes sense.
And Tibbs is responsible for a lot of those teams. Just the way he plays with the Helio ball.
That and mucking up the game defensively. Like he good at doing that. Yep. Very, very good at doing that. I think we got a couple more teams left.
So we have
we got Malone. Mike Malone. Do we take Ime Udoka over Mike Malone just from a coaching standpoint?
I'm gonna say a slight no. I'm not.
Let me hear your reason.
I'm not totally against the idea, but Malone's won a championship. Although he's had the best player, I would say they definitely did not have the best team in terms of they were outmatched in terms of talent. But I do think Malone has shown creativity. I think the fact that on both offense and defense, because you have to cover for Jokic, right?
Yeah,
that's something.
That's a good point.
But I don't think. But I think Ime is a better defensive coach, but he's a worse offensive coach. And I haven't seen the creativity from an offensive standpoint to he's just leaned into the offensive rebounding thing. That's been our big counter to our offense being better.
So pretty much, okay. So I agree with you. I do agree with you. Ime's adjustments and lineup changes seem to be defense first. It's never really even about the offense.
Never.
It usually just seems to be about defense.
It's literally never. Even when we're playing bad offense, he doesn't substitute in good offensive players.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Regardless of matchup.
Regardless, it almost never happens.
And then when you hear him speak in the press conferences and you kind of hear how he's speaking on the game, it kind of matches what we saw with all of his substitution patterns and adjustments. Everything is defensive based.
Yep.
I can't even really think of a time when he really got up there after a game and mentioned an offensive adjustment that he decided to go with that was working. Everything was defensive based. And if the offense came along with it, it just came along with it.
Yeah, I think the double big was really to help the defense.
It was.
And then it just kind of morphs into this different thing.
Now, imagine if we never looked that bad against the Mavericks that game. Would we have ever seen the double big? Would we have ever been forced to see the double big? Which is
it's like David Lee never got hurt of the Warriors.
It's Draymond who he is today without David Lee.
Yeah.
Getting hurt.
Yeah.
So but a lot of times though, when you look back at it, it's happenstance. Yep. Look when we made that run with Mike D'Antoni, the 17-18 Rockets. If Ryan Anderson didn't get hurt, does PJ Tucker end up starting at the 4? And we end up starting to really blow teams out the water.
Right.
Does that happen? So sometimes it's injury. Sometimes an injury could be good for a team. Look what just happened. This is just one game, obviously. And then it wasn't an injury. It was just a suspension. Dylan Brooks missing the Oklahoma City game.
Yep.
The hierarchy was so ironclad that it kind of makes. If I'm Rafael Stone, I'm looking at that that looks interesting.
But I think that's like a negative against Ime to an extent, right? I feel like he's so big on continuity that it hurts. Yeah, they're about right. Yeah. But it hurts our creativity about just trying something different to see if it works.
Well, there's that, and then we said Fred. Chris said Fred. We could say Jabari getting hurt.
Yep. Had both ways.
Yeah.
Had some positive and negative.
He has looked good off the bench. I still think he should start, but he has looked good off the bench. He's produced very well off.
But what you're saying about the starting lineup being bad, and he just continues to play it, right?
It's not even good defensively.
For continuity's sake.
Nah, I think there's more of a contract play. I think it's. Well, Jabari, you haven't been starting, so we're not going to give you this much money. That's what I think it is, if you ask me. Because it doesn't make any basketball sense. Yep. They're not good offensively or defensively.
I agree.
It doesn't make any sense, bro.
JJ Redick.
JJ Redick. I'm taking Ime over JJ every day, all day.
I agree.
3 times.
I think JJ can win them a game or two though. Like I think he's got some stuff up his sleeve. I just don't think he can match Ime in a 7-game series.
Now let me ask you this. Specifically with the Rockets versus Lakers matchup, is it that Redick can't match Ime schematically, or is it just the Rockets' depth is so lethal that there's nothing JJ can really do to combat that? I'm interested.
I think they will combat it. I mean, they're, but part of it is I think they have to have can they gang rebound like that for 7 games, for 4 wins? I mean, I think that's a lot to ask. I mean, I think we underestimate, I talked about that with how teams, after they play the Lions, they never cover the spread. I wonder if the Rockets, they're just going to wear teams down like that over 7 games, especially teams. I mean, in some ways, though, I mean, obviously we all thought the trade was good for the Lakers, right? But everyone was concerned about the defense that they had. But the fact that Luka just takes so much off of LeBron's plate is so helpful for them. So helpful. Because now LeBron, I mean, you saw it in the Olympics. When LeBron doesn't have to do everything, he still has another gear.
As much as that sounds nice, I think there's more the Rockets can tap into offensively against the Lakers specifically. Because they don't have the defensive infrastructure, I think, to really be able to handle the Rockets' athleticism. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Alperen Sengun is going to have – I think he's going to have, way better games against that team in the playoffs.
We ought to be able to get to the basket a lot. We ought to be shooting a lot at the basket. I mean –
who's going to – you going to put Rui Hachimura on him and expect him to do good?
I mean, that's the whole reason the double big lineup works. And to an extent, is Sengun is a monster against 4s.
Right.
You have to have a center to guard him, or else he'll beat you.
If we go double big, are you gonna dare put LeBron on Alperen Sengun? Are you really gonna do that?
I think LeBron would be effective against Sengun.
I absolutely disagree.
I think it's a lot to ask him to do it for 7 games, but I think he could do it.
Think about it, bro.
On a night.
Even though they have Luka, if you're asking LeBron to sit there and check Alperen Sengun on defense and go on the offensive end to be effective too, look, how many games, he's come close to breaking his little double-digit scoring thing this year. It could happen in the playoffs.
But let's say he only does it in the 4th quarter of close games.
What, guarding Alperen Sengun?
Yeah, that's like their Warriors. We're putting Draymond at center for going.
LeBron's 60 years old, man. You think he's gonna be able to do that with them legs, or with all the mileage on them legs?
I'm not gonna say no because he's LeBron freaking James.
At some point, that mileage is gonna catch up to him.
We keep saying that. We said that 7 years ago.
No, because somebody has to force that upon him in the playoffs. The Rockets are the team to do that because he has to really run. He can't hide against the Rockets. There's always somebody for him to deal with on both ends. He got a bunch of guys who are going to be guarding him on defense. There's a bunch of guys he's going to have to guard on offense. Good luck.
I mean, I think our offense would have to be a lot better to make him work for an entire game on defense.
I agree. And you know what? There's a part in me that believes that Ime Udoka might be reserving some of the offensive adjustments for the playoffs. I want to believe that. This might just be me being.
That's not impossible.
This just might be my little propagandist talking right now, man. So it might be false, and people might play this back and be like, what happened to that? Yeah, wrong once again. So I don't know. I'm hoping to see that though. And if that's the case, that's really good stuff. Because we already have the reason the Rockets don't lose a lot of games, and if we do lose, it's really a close game, is because we don't make a lot of boneheaded mistakes. Let me not say boneheaded. Let's not say boneheaded mistakes. As a whole, we don't consistently do things that lose teams games consistently.
We don't usually beat ourselves.
Yeah, we don't usually beat ourselves. Like we do the little things. We chase loose balls, we defend, we guard the three, we get rebounds galore all over the place. And we try to play fast when we can, forcing turnovers and playing the fast break, playing transition. We do a lot of those little things.
If we lose, it's because we don't shoot well at the free throw line.
We've lost games because of the free throw line. Yes.
We don't offensive rebound as well as we normally do.
Yes.
Or we truly have a putrid shooting night.
Which has been, but we have won a lot of them games where we
right. It takes like a combination of those things to happen.
It definitely has to be a combination because one of those things can happen in a given game.
Right.
But if multiple of those things happen at once, it's uphill battle. Because
I would say the offensive rebounding thing is more likely to kill us singularly than anything else.
And if we both A, don't offensive rebound, and B, don't force turnovers, that alone is how we're going to lose games.
Right.
Or that alone, not alone, but those two things together. We can't.
And it's possible the Lakers have that recipe, though. I mean, it's possible. I'm not saying they do. I'm just saying it's possible.
Yeah. But one thing, though, Luka will turn the ball over. Luka can be exploited on defense. There's holes in Luka's game that you can exploit.
Yeah, he does make lazy passes, and
he'll do that.
Like that. He can do some.
Lakers fans are already in his ass about not guarding and playing defense. So good luck trying to hide him in the playoffs.
And then with Daigneault, I mean, I say at minimum,
let's throw him in there. Yeah,
it's even, right? I mean, he's unproven. He's unproven in the playoffs. They lost to a worse team last year, worse team than them record-wise. And I think that Ime has shown that we have a recipe of success that he has not been able to totally counteract. I mean, we played a trash game against them with freaking Reed Sheppard and Cam Whitmore and almost won.
Damn, man. Way to throw Reed Sheppard and Cam Whitmore under the bus.
I got to throw someone under the bus today. Come on.
Jeez, Slaughter. But now you got a good point. I don't know how much. Well, let me not say that. I think Daigneault has done a bang up job over there because
sure, yes, it's part roster construction, but
a lot of that is experience too because he's been with them from the rebuild up until now, so he's got way more familiarity with the same team than Ime has with this team.
I'm just saying that their weakness against us is in part roster construction, but it's also part of his philosophy of how we kind of anticipated Ime being, which is this 5-out unit, switch everything, blah, blah, blah. But they for one, they don't have jumbo wings, right?
They don't. They got little wings.
Like their biggest wing is like Jalen Williams or Aaron Wiggins, one of the two. And those guys aren't, they're strong, but they're not like oversized.
They're not Tari. They're not Dylan. They're not Amen. They're not Jabari.
Yeah, well, I think Jalen Williams is pretty good. He might be better than all those guys, but
he probably is better than all of them. But just from a size standpoint, well, he plays a lot way bigger than what he is. Like that's why he can get away with playing the three.
Right. He's kind of like Cam. He's like 6'6", but he's like strong as shit.
Yeah, he got like an 8-foot wingspan or something like that. Yeah,
and he's got long wing. Exactly, he's got long arms.
He can walk in his arms, bro.
So I've never heard that before. That's funny. Yeah, but I think that Ime has shown that he, for whatever reason, in that coaching matchup, he does well. And so I think it's at worst it's a wash, and I think it's possible that Ime actually has the edge because I think we're not as talented as they are, but we have constantly played them closer or better than anyone else has this year, outside of maybe the Celtics.
Let's talk about their talent part right quick. Are we really not as talented as they are, or is it just that their top end is just so top, it destroys our top end, but everything mid and below, we got them beat? Our bench is better than theirs. By a long shot, I believe. Caruso, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, Kenny Hustle, Kenrich Williams. You going to take them over Jabari, Tari, and Steven Adams?
So Wallace, Caruso, and Wiggins over Jabari, Tari, and Steven Adams.
Hell, God, dog. They got two. Never mind. Never mind, man. Jesus Christ.
I mean, I think that our guys are probably better than them. Those three, like in tandem, are better than those three in tandem. But I think it's close enough. The fact that they potentially have the two best players in the series. That hurts.
Well, going into the series. Now, coming out the series, it could look different. You know what I mean?
You're very hopeful.
I am. I am very hopeful.
It can also look worse.
It could also look worse. But the reason I'm hopeful is because it's a matchup thing to me, man. And they ain't got enough sand in their pants to really deal with these dudes. They're physical, but we're just as physical.
We're bigger and physical.
Like, as big as we are, especially in the wing spot, which is probably the most important in that series, the physicality and the size that we bring at the wing spot is going to be the difference to me. Because, I mean, when have you seen Shea shoot 2 free throw attempts in a game? I know it's just one game.
48% true shooting. It's wild.
And I know it's just one game. And I know it's the regular season, but
it would not shock me if we won that series. I'll say that.
That is all I'm asking. That's all I'm saying. Like, if we won that series, obviously it's probably going to be on the backs of our defense, but I think the offense is going to show up in ways that people may not expect, because that's number one defense in the league. We made them look like G Leaguers on defense.
I mean, the thing is with the Rockets, I wouldn't be shocked if they beat anyone. I think there are certain teams they cannot lose to, but I think they could lose to Denver, Golden State, Lakers, like OKC. Like, I'm not sure that OKC can lose to some of those bottom teams. Like, there's certain teams. There's less teams that OKC could lose to, I think, than the Rockets. The Rockets have a wider range of outcomes than probably Denver, Lakers, or OKC. But I think that if you told me that, like, we made the finals, I'd be like, yeah, that is crazy for them to play that well and get 12 wins over those teams. But at the same time, I'm like, none of these matchups are so crazy that I'm like, wow, we're just such underdogs. It's overwhelming.
But at the same time, man, most of us didn't have them winning 50 games before the season started.
Nope. I think I had 47 or 48.
I even thought my 48 wins was optimistic.
Yeah, I mean, there was reasons I think they
that was, and me saying 48 wins, that was considering healthy all season and things just really just playing in our favor. We didn't always look great.
Yeah,
we were winning, looking mid.
Well, there's two things that would make the Rockets a good regular season team, and that is that they try hard all the time, most of the time, and that they are deep at the right positions than most every other team. I mean, you don't have Tari, Amin, Jalen, Dylan, Jabari, Cam on teams. I mean, that's a crazy wing rotation if you want it.
True enough. And then I think we got a bunch of guys who can play like 3 different positions.
Yes, versatile. Yeah.
Tari, Jabari, Amin, all our wings can play three positions at least, bro.
Guard.
And can guard 3 different positions at least.
Yeah.
And for as much as, people were talking, myself included, Jalen and Alperen's defense is not bad no more, bro. So it's not like they're just that huntable in a series where you can just target them and be like, we coming after you all series, get your track shoes ready.
I'm not 100% on board to say that, but we'll see.
I don't think you can't Elmer Fudd them, bro.
It depends.
Because if you do, And if you do, you're gonna waste a lot of time finding that matchup. The way our defensive infrastructure is, you're gonna waste a lot of that shot clock trying to find the matchups.
But in the playoffs, the teams are just a lot more intentional about it.
They are, but
so they don't run all this other action to waste 10 seconds. They kind of get to it.
That's true. But I think
there's no romance in it anymore.
No, there isn't. But at the same time, I think I've seen enough from these guys to be like, you know what? In these close games, they get physical and they get dirty and gritty. They look playoff ready. They look playoff ready to me, man.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. I think we can kind of call it on that, man. Golden State tonight in the next couple minutes here.
What do you think? What's the difference in the scores?
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna just give a final score. I'm gonna say like 112. I think our defense is gonna be good enough to keep them to 112. Notice how I said keep them to 112. We're not scoring 90 points.
112 and 89.
112-89. Sorry, I don't trust us versus this team. When we see the Warriors, Alperen Sengun and Jalen Green just turn into, I don't know if you've ever seen like a Pokemon devolve. They go from Charizard back down to Charmander, bro, and Blastoise to what's the Squirtle. It's bad, bro.
It is truly. It is bizarre.
King, I'm not chilling, bro. You gotta give me a reason to chill, bro. There's no way I'm chilling on this.
I'll say
giving me PTSD, bro.
I'll say 107-95.
106-101. King, I'll buy you a big old bottle of tequila if we win 106-101, bro.
He might have already
drank the final score and we
tequila.
win. I'll buy you the biggest bottle of tequila I can find.
He might already have one. That's why he's predicted that score.
I may need it to go to sleep.
We're not gonna sweat this game.
I'm already sweating, bro. I can't, bro. My stomach hurt, dog. You know how you ever heard the what's that Eminem song? Vomit on the sweater already. Mom spaghetti. He's nervous. That's me every time we play the damn Warriors, bro. Like, geez. You better lose yourself in the music the moment you want it. I didn't let this thing go already, though, man.
I think, it's kind of funny. I think if we both lose hope, maybe we'll just be pleasantly surprised.
That boy said, I'll take Starbucks. All right, we're going to give you a nice, what's that drink that everybody be getting from Starbucks? What they call that? There's some kind of name that they give it. You Starbucks people, y'all ought to know. What is that thing called? Man, I don't know. Anyway, if you remember, show back up at halftime and let me know in the comments because we're finna kick over to this game and watch the Rockets take this L. I'm sorry. But we will be back at halftime. It's your man, AK Infinity. Follow me on Twitter /X at AK_VVS. Mr. Slaughter, let him have it.
All right. I'm at Slaughter. Easy enough.
Already, man. We will be back at halftime. Well, I'll be back at halftime. Maybe Slaughter might.
I'll be.
You might be getting body slammed by your son, bro. Who knows? But yeah, y'all tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend and come back again, and we